The Jaguars yesterday in a Week 16 matchup against the Miami Dolphins traveled down to Miami and came out victorious by winning by a final score of 17-7. But how victorious were the Jaguars? Yes, they won on the schedule. They get the W. They beat Miami. All the players in the locker room are happy. All the coaches got what they worked for. But the real question is, how much of a win was this? And as the Jaguars lost this game, if they would have lost the game, they'd be picking at number 4 overall in the draft. And now that they've won, they are now picking at number 9. And they have been leapfrogged by two teams that are quarterback hungry, and the Buccaneers and the New York Giants. So as much as it sucks to, lose games, and when the Jaguars are on, I always pretty much pull for them to win. But I hope this isn't something that will bite us in the future as we see the Giants go and pick Dwayne Haskins or something like that. But yeah, the Jaguars win this one, man, and we'll go ahead and give some congratulations where it's due. The defense showed out today. Now, the Dolphins took the opening drive and went all the way down for a touchdown, but after that, they did nothing. I mean, they held the Miami Dolphins to under 200 yards of total yards. They got 3 sacks. Calais Campbell had a forced fumble, and Calais Campbell was all over the place yesterday. And Telvin Smith got a pick 6 on Ryan Tannehill, so which really sealed the game. It extended the score to a score of 17-7, and they hung on to that one the rest of the game. And this is the defense that was in a 2017 form where they were getting turnovers. They were basically forcing 3 and outs. They weren't allowing opponents to move the ball anywhere, and it was a good showing by the defense, and it was a real bright spot. I mean, that's for sure. Now, also, you look at the offense. Now, the offense really only managed to score 10 points this game because, like I said, there was a pick 6. But the main thing about this that happened was that, Cody Kessler wound up being benched and Bortles came in there. And Bortles actually did pretty well. Now, when Bortles came in there, he immediately provided another dimension to the offense just because he's able to run the ball. He picked up a couple of first downs on some, like, the first and second and long plays. He delivered some good strikes also down the field as well, including a couple that actually wound up clinching the game. I believe one was on like a 2nd and 17 or something like that. But Bortles actually looked pretty good, and I feel you got to feel good for Bortles. I mean, it hasn't been the best year for him, but he came in there and he was able to get a victory or help the team get a victory. And who knows if he's going to be starting next week? Maybe they give him one last hoorah, but. It's interesting with Blake Bortles because, a lot of the fans don't mind this guy. A lot of the fans understand that he's not the answer, but Blake Bortles has always been a team guy. I mean, he never puts blame on anybody else but himself. He always goes over there and answers all the questions to the media. You never hear him like bitching to media about anything. You gotta feel good for Blake Bortles, and he wound up helping the Jaguars get this win. And yeah, so also another thing I kind of wanted to touch on was Leonard Fournette this game. When I look around at the team, at this point in the year, I like to really look at players that are going to be foundation players to our team, guys that are going to be here next year in the extended future. When I look at the offensive line, I'm not too critical of the offensive line because 4 out of the 5 guys are just like backups. You have a couple of guys from the New York Giants, and you have A.J. Cann, the only starter that started off at the beginning of the year as a starting offensive lineman, but he's going to be a free agent, so he might not even be on the team next year. So I don't evaluate the offensive line too much, but, I look around at other players. Like Leonard Fournette, he did not have a good game, man. He looked slow. He looked very hesitant. He looked like he wasn't willing to really hit the hole very hard, and it's a little worrisome, man. It's worrisome with Fournette just because this guy was a number 4 overall pick, and this guy is not a Saquon Barkley. This guy is not a Todd Gurley. This guy is not a top 10 running back in the NFL. I don't care what anybody says. I'm coming to that conclusion now. He even admitted last week that he isn't in the best of shape. So we'll see what we do with him. Hopefully if we keep him, if we don't trade him away next year, he can come back more focused. He can come back healthy. He can come back in shape. And he can have a good year because, this year hasn't been a very good year for Fournette. I don't even think this guy has 500 yards rushing on a season, so that's a big thing. D.D. Westbrook continues to impress me. I mean, this guy is always just taking big hits. He keeps going. I mean, he had that huge, I believe it was a punt return that led to the Kai Forbath field goal off the ass of the long snapper, whatever with that one, but Yeah, I mean, with this game, man, the Jaguars win. Kind of a meaningless game, 17-7, but the players are happy. The coaching staff is happy. They got the victory. Unfortunately, the Jags dropped from 4 to 9 in the NFL draft. So, to move up, man, in the top 10 of the draft, you had to give up some good draft capital. I mean, last year, the Jets moved up from 6 to 3 and had to give up 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick. You know, you have teams, if we want to jump from 9 to 3 or 4, we'd probably have to give away a first-round pick. That's what sucks. But hopefully this doesn't bite us in the long term. Hopefully we still get the quarterback that's on our board and, you know, we can celebrate this victory a little bit more. But yeah, that's about all I got, guys. Merry Christmas to all y'all out here. And this is UCF Jaguar with GenJag.com, and I'm out.